this is just like the leopard gecko.
Hey guys, it's Evan from MGHD, and welcome back to our reptile mini-series with Animal Bites TV. We've seen some pretty cool animals, so let's see what Brian has for us today.
Well, this is the last reptile in this series, and this is called a crested gecko, okay? And these guys are a little bit different than the other gecko that I showed you because they have really sticky fingers, so they can climb up walls, and they certainly jump. You can see they love to jump. But these guys are from a place called New Caledonia. And again, you can see they kind of can go upside down and everything. They're really cool. And they're called crested geckos because of that big crest that's on their head. You can see right there. And they certainly can camouflage really well being up in the trees. If you were walking in the forest and saw this on a tree, you would just think that it was part of the bark, which is really what makes it so. As a matter of fact, look at the tail, how you can kind of see it almost looks like moss. And you can see how it's prehensile-tailed, so it actually can hang on with its tail.
What do crested geckos eat?
And the thing that's neat about these guys is that they eat a kind of fruit-based diet. So they can eat stuff like baby food, or there's actually a Zoo Med product that comes powdered. You just mix a little bit of water and you just put it in there, which makes it really easy. These guys can eat bugs, and in the wild they'll actually eat bugs from time to time, but they can live 100% on that powdered food.
Do they require any special heating or lighting?
These guys don't need any heat whatsoever. As a matter of fact, they do better when they're a little bit cooler. So just room temperature is 100% fine. And they make really, really cool pets for sure. And just look at how cool it is. Now this one's only about a year old. It's gonna get about twice that size. So its head's gonna get relatively big. And they will eat some crickets. Whoop, I'll get it. There you go. And they're pretty fast too, so you gotta be careful because once they get going, they'll go quick. But just like the leopard gecko, the defense mechanism is to let that tail drop. So you gotta be careful to pull on a tail because it'll pop off really easily. And as a matter of fact, these are so gentle, their tails, that you rarely see a lot of adults that have tails because most of their tails fall off at some point in their life and never really fully grow back. But again, these guys are really easy to care for because they eat really simple things. You don't have to feed them anything that's difficult, just powdered food or baby food, and you don't need any special type of stuff. As a matter of fact, we can set up a really cool little setup for them so that you can see. The thing that's neat about these guys is not only do you have a little environment, but you can make it look really pretty, and we can even put a little waterfall in here if you want to. So you want to check that out? All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so this is the tank basically that Zoo Med sent us, and it's really quite simple. You just, open it up like this, and this kit actually already comes with all this stuff in it. And again, just like the other stuff that we showed you, there's a water bowl and another bowl that's basically for its food. So one bowl is going to be for water, and one bowl is going to be for food. And all we're going to do is just put some sphagnum moss on the bottom of the cage. How's it doing over there? Doing pretty good? You getting the handle of it? Pretty cool little guys. You're doing really good. You're a good animal wrangler, So we're going to just put some sphagnum moss on the bottom here, and that's just going to keep the environment nice and moist. Plus it looks kind of cool too. And then you can just fill up some water, and then this is your food dish. And again, the food, you can just either do a baby food or again that Zoo Med powder that you mix with water. Just put it in here, and you're just going to kind of keep that. Every day you're going to put a little bit of fresh food in there. The thing that's neat is you don't need any real lighting per se, but if you want, you can go with a light like this that has little LEDs that just makes it look cool. Doesn't put off any heat at all, and it just makes the whole thing cool. Here's the waterfall right here, and it's cool too because it lights up. So Evan, what are we going to call this gecko?
Murphy.
Murphy? Perfect. Okay, got Murphy in there. Perfect. You can kind of see that it'll crawl up the side and it'll totally like it. So what's really cool about these guys is, again, really easy to set up, doesn't take a lot of work whatsoever as far as heat, or there's no fancy type of stuff, and you can set up a really cool environment that looks really cool with a waterfall and logs and plants and all kinds of stuff. And you can pretty much put anything you want in here to just make it look really cool. And then of course Murphy is going to love it because he's going to have all these places to hide and stuff like that.
How long do they live?
Crested geckos don't live quite as long as, say, a leopard gecko, but they're certainly good for 8 to 10 years. So this guy is literally only about a year old, so he still has good 7 to 9 years still left to go. And again, because they don't require much care, it's kind of hard to not care for them properly because they're just such hardy animals, and they're kind of the perfect easy pet that you don't have to do much with, and it's cool to have a really cool environment like this too.
Thanks, Brian, for helping us out in this series.
It's my pleasure. We had a great time.
If you like this one, here's another Crested Gecko video from Animal Bites TV.